Disclaimer: the following program features language not suitable for all audiences, and the expressed opinions found within this program are a reflection of those who feature on the PopCulture Effect podcast. Welcome to the PopCulture Effect. I'm Rockin' Rob, and on this show I bring my closest friends together to talk about all of the news happening in our pop culture world around us. Hello everybody, it's me, Bobber. I'm finally back from being an invisible John Cena man in the editor's dimension, and I've been very lonely, so you know, I had to make the trip out, and I'm joined by all my friends today, almost all my friends, because somebody's being a sleepy little bitch. Anyways, I'm joined by Blaze.
Don't worry, folks, he'll go back to the editor's room soon enough.
That's so mean. I miss you guys, and I'm also joined by I'm joined by Menace.
You've been fumbling this bag so hard. I've been loving every second
no,
of it.
It's fine, and I'm also joined by Trit.
Gemini.
It doesn't. The only one that matters is Subset. I don't care.
I don't give a.
Okay,
Hello.
cool.
Anyways, today is a very special day because it is the last day before I go away to a separate plane of existence for a while, and these guys
Finally.
will be left on.
Or he dies.
Damn, I didn't know Cuba seceded.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Wow. Thanks, guys, for the home hearty messages.
Yeah, gotta give that tough love.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, there are a few addendums I want to address before we get into the meat of this episode, just to wrap everything up in a nice little bow before I leave for a week. Sorry, Trin, you were saying? Oh, okay. You muted your mic halfway through that.
A dum-dum.
Anyways, so firstly, Blaze, as you remember from our Doctor Who episode, there was one little fact I forgot to include. There was a Doctor Who promotional video for the 60th anniversary, and it showed David Tennant being the one to create the concept of the Dalek, at least by name.
Oh yeah, I forgot they did do that. That was not only just the name, but switched out what was going to be the original weapon on it to be it being a plunger.
I'll be honest, I really would have loved to see them have that weapon, but like the plunger is just too iconic. Aside from that, there is at least one other addendum I'd like to put, and that is for the Meat Canyon story I talked about. Since then, he is actually starting to incorporate his animations into his Papa Meat channel, so, you know, he's already finding a good way to use all of his talents at one channel, so thumbs up for me on that. Hopefully he can get back to making actual Meat Canyon content, but this is honestly just as good for my point of view. But anyways, to get into the main meat of today's episode, unless anybody else has any other addendums they want to add.
Actually, rewind really quick about the Dalek thing. What were you saying again?
There was a promotional video that came out to like promote for the 60th anniversary, and it showed David Tennant crashing through the original Dalek's chamber where the first Dalek was being made, and he basically gave the Daleks their name and replaced the weapon that they would have had with a plunger.
Oh, like in the show.
Yeah. But it literally, the David Tennant's Doctor is the reason, which is interesting because it's the 14th Doctor, which is the reason why the Daleks are the way they are.
Okay, I misheard you because I was looking at something, and I thought you said, because you used like the actor's name, I thought you were meaning like he created them. Like, no, he didn't.
Yeah, he's actually a Time Lord, and he went back in time to the original airing of Doctor Who, and he inspired them.
That's why I was like, what the
It was a really inspiring move by David Tennant, you know, being a time walker and all. But
Time walk.
Lord.
Yeah,
Is that like a time vampire?
It's like Professor Paradox from Ben 10, obviously, the time walker.
Okay.
Technically, aren't the angels technically would be time vampires?
Yeah.
Yes, technically.
Wait, there's time vampire angels? What?
The weeping angels, dumbass!
Oh yeah, well those are statues.
Because
Yes,
only when
but-
you look at them.
Shows how much of the actual show I've seen aside from
Yeah.
YouTube clips. Oh man. Anyways, I think it's about time we stop rambling and get into the core of this episode, as we've got a few things we were going to talk about. There's one thing we were going to talk about, but somebody is being a sleepy beepy, and we'll be talking about that next week. But to start things off, I want to talk about something where it's kind of a smaller example of a larger change that's kind of coming into YouTube in the early 2020s. And this is going to be a bit of a ridiculous topic because I'm talking about Dragon Ball Fusion War, and this was a YouTube project made by a YouTuber named Tibby15 Production. And the reason why I chose to talk about this today is, one, I think it's an amazing example of how creative people can be, but also I think it's a great example of how AI voice is actually going to be implemented in YouTube in the long term, because obviously with Tibby being a YouTuber, he wouldn't have close the budget to get people that would be able to accurately perform the voices of all the characters that he put into this project, because with Dragon Ball Fusion War, it is a combination of Marvel, DC, and Dragon Ball, and with the cast of characters, it'd be kind of hard to find voice actors to fill that whole role without breaking your bank. So I think this is the first example of how, because I've seen tons of examples, like DB Shorts, who do AI Dragon Ball character monologues. I've seen the SpongeBob raps from Glore. There's been a ton of examples of people utilizing AI voice, and I just hope, especially with the YouTubers and the content creators that are making really amazing content with their own human input, like Glitch's Digital Circus, Ink Tanks 5YL, Unworthy Productions, Power Rangers Unworthy, and even Vivzy Pop's Hell of a Boss and Hazbin Hotel. I am just worried that this project and the ramifications of this project will lead to more AI voice, and we may see less and less of these creative human experiences. And I just want to have a brief overview of the movie, just because I want people to be incentivized to go watch it without me telling everything about it. But it is a 3-parter that they're going to be creating, and it basically tells the story of Kang, which is pretty interesting choice with today's climate. But he finds both Goku Black and Super Baby Vegeta, and they all team up. They go after the multiverse itself. And the interesting thing about this is not only is there Dragon Ball content, but there are 2 separate Dragon Ball universes being presented in this, which is Dragon Ball AF, which, for those of you who don't know, is an old fan comic of Dragon Ball, where we saw the first introduction of a fan-made Super Saiyan 5, and we saw the Dragon Ball universe crossover with the AF universe. There's a couple things I want to mention just with me talking about, first off, the negatives. I'll just get them out of the way. The voice and lip syncing are kind of bad. Like, it's not the greatest, and there's also some repeated vocals and sound effects, but that's just commonplace. One tiny issue that they really infuriated me on is anytime they said the word Saiyans, they said the word Saiyan, and it just irritated me to no end. And yeah, the other thing about this is that they utilized a lot of previously done animated scenes. So a lot of the movie scenes from Super were used as overlays for animation, for fight animation purposes, and it just seemed like a very, I don't want to say cobbled together, because I'm assuming there was a lot of time and effort put into this. What?
This sounds like blatant plagiarism.
Okay, and my main point when talking about this is with the copies of animated scenes and the blatant copies of the characters, that this could be seen as a little bit of plagiarism.
A little
bit.
No, like, come on, man.
But this is my point. This is why I wanted to talk about this, because this could have really drastic consequences for YouTube, because this could just be the commonplace where everybody's just remaking.
No, because people have more standards than that.
You say that, but
just because people are using AI voice and shit, yes, that's a thing, but like, people are still gonna pay for actual voice actors and stuff like that if they want better quality. There's no way that.
On top of that, too, with AI voice, it's only gonna imitate what's already out there. When it comes to making new stuff, AI voice, it won't be able to do anything for newer creations.
I just think people, especially people who are more cost effective than quality effective, they may take that cut just to implement that AI voice.
Yes,
take
but
that
doesn't mean that it'll become commonplace.
No, I know. I'm just saying that there's a lot. I just wanted to have an open discussion with everybody about the implementation of AI with everything that has been going on, from the music industry to YouTube to hell, even some TV shows and movies. Like, I feel that AI is really starting to creep closer and closer to being commonplace, and it's kind of scaring me.
Why?
Well, just because it's going to devalue all of the positions of...
It won't devalue, because AIs need algorithm of those people that they're copying to keep up.
I'm just saying, with the backlog of content that we already have as humans, they have a lot to pull from.
Okay, but you can still see that they're not as good as the actual VAs or actors or whatever.
Like, from a viewer point of view, it's not gonna be the best experience, but strictly strictly speaking from a monetary point of view, like they'd be making more because they wouldn't have to outsource for animation.
And once again, I
for...
also believe that AI shit, if used for monetary gain, is just blatant plagiarism. So
100%.
And
That's why I wanted to
a lot
shed
of people
light
just
on this.
aren't gonna really like go towards it. The people are gonna boycott against it if anyone ever tries to do it. It's like I've seen so many people boycott card games like Magic the Gathering when they're in the art process of making new cards. Every so often either art will be put onto the card that was either made by AI or was made by a fan, and they thought it was one of their own artists that made it, and it gets put on and it instantly goes bad and has bad backlash.
Yeah, because nobody likes AI. I think it can be used well in the hands of people who use it to support human interaction, but I think it's been unanimously said across the internet that AI replacing humans is just despicable. It's
not going to be a thing.
I hope it won't be, but it is getting
the human. Okay, we all know I'm the cynic of the group. I don't believe in humanity at all, but I believe we are smart enough not to be taken down by our own creation. Hopefully.
Yeah, but the one thing you're not considering there is people's greed. There are some greedy people.
There's a difference between greed and stupidity. If you're too greedy to get yourself killed by your own creation, you're just stupid at that point. You're not greedy anymore.
No, that's fair. I just thought it would be interesting, like, because I know all three of you have very differing perspectives on this. Like, Menace, you have a more YouTube-based perspective. I know Gemini has had her perspectives on AI art, and Blaze from the mainstream side of things. Exactly. Like, I just wanted to have this open conversation because it is something that is definitely becoming more rampant in all these new projects and shit that are popping up. And I just hope that the human creators that I mentioned earlier can kind of take back that overall appeal, because I really love all the stuff that the humans that are able to perform and animate are creating. I love it from the bottom of my heart, and I don't want it to be replaced. My worry is that eventually we'll get to a point where literally half the content on YouTube is going to be just AI. Because I know with Webblecop, he has literally created several different AI channels where the scripting, the gameplay, like pretty much I think the gameplay is actually played by a human, but everything else, from the voice, from the model for the VTuber, like everything is automated by AI. It's just very concerning to me, honestly.
I believe that there are people that will do that, but like, it's not, the whole thing about content creation is that it's you or the character that you've created for the channel, and that just seems more like a character for the channel than anything else. Like, it all depends on what you're running through the AI algorithm, essentially. If you are taking from other creators and making AI based off of that, that is scummy.
Yeah,
but
it's not good. You should and it kind of just snowballs into like the overall theme that we've had on this show, and that is Hollywood is just unoriginal. They just like
everything's been done. It's been done for years already.
And then everybody's just like, what can we remake? What can we do again for the nostalgia? Yeah, it's funny because in the meantime, between this episode being recorded and it going up, Moana 2 got an announcement. So, yeah, we're still getting the same old. And it's just like, just make something original. Just make something
We're
new.
in a nostalgic culture at the moment, so it's like, it's nothing that we can really do.
You see how...
Everybody yearns for those times, so if something comes out that reminds us of it...
we all want to live forever. We all want to be young again. I just hope that YouTube can take more of a charge with kind of defending the human creators against this AI uprising that my overdramatic brain will call it. But going back to those original content creators and the work and effort that they put into, I personally feel that there's one that honestly has taken the next step to implementing themselves into being more than a YouTuber, because I feel like a lot of the times YouTubers get a stigma where they're just seen as a content creator. But Menace, with this new Vibsy Pop series on Amazon Prime, I know you have waited literal months, if not years, to discuss this new Hell of a Boss, this new Hazbin Hotel show. so I totally didn't mess
good,
up. I didn't.
good shit.
Shut up! I didn't mess up. You didn't hear that. Anyways, and now it's all staying in because I said that. Go ahead, take us away for some Hazbin Hotel.
So I guess I should start off with, for those that haven't heard or seen anything, what are you doing? Go watch this.
Go watch it.
Should also make a disclaimer, because don't know why people are doing this. This started off as a YouTube series. The pilot is on there. It is. I know sometimes the pilot isn't canon. The pilot is canon to this show, and it was highly praised when it first came out and years after, because it essentially gave you like a season's worth of like world building in one episode. But after that pilot, Vivzy started with her other show, Hell of a Boss, and that took off. And eventually Amazon Prime Video took notice and asked if they wanted to partner up with actually continuing Hazbin Hotel. The premise for the show is essentially the daughter of Lucifer, Charlie Morningstar, is creating a rehabilitation hotel for sinners in hell to ascend to heaven through redemption. And everybody's going against her. You know, demons don't believe that they're saving them. Even heaven is like, nobody can change. She's trying real hard, because every year there is an extermination of sinners due to the overpopulation of all the people doing bad up on Earth.
I'm sorry, I need to ask this because I've literally been thinking about it for so goddamn long. Are the two shows connected? Hell of a Boss and Hazbin?
They are in the same universe, but they do not interact.
Which you know is going to lead to a giant crossover that they're gonna promote like hell for.
One of the episodes, you do see a quick moment of seeing a couple of the Hell of a Boss characters running down the road in the background.
There have been references as well.
Well, and I think the main reason why you probably won't see too much of like crossover in either of the shows, more probably has been than Hell of a Boss, as in Hell of a Boss, or no, has been, as you stated earlier, Menace, the human souls, sinners, whatever the hell they're called, they're like locked to one layer, correct? Pride layer?
Yeah, each ring is representative of a sin, and
human sinners are locked to pride, you said, I think?
Yeah, they're locked to pride, which is the highest layer ruled over by Lucifer himself.
And Hell of a Boss is, the main characters are devil-born, or like imps, hellhounds, and everything, and they can freely traverse through the layers.
Yes, but
so that's probably why you probably won't see some of the characters from Hazbin and Hell of a.
There's actually a big story reason that they may actually coincide, because Blitz, the main character in Hell of a Boss, he runs an assassination service for sinners. They go back up to Earth and kill people that they didn't, or that wronged them in their past.
That's the concept of Hell of a Boss?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's hilarious. What the fuck? I need to go watch that. What the shit?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, that's all
you
haven't watched.
He hasn't watched either.
I have not.
Robbie, what rock have you been under?
A big one.
Editing
a very,
dimension
very
rock.
big one.
Obviously.
I was gonna say, I watched it for a few of the first episodes of Hell of a Boss, and I watched the pilot of Hazbin, but like how I always tend to be a grouch, an ooh, I don't like it, a vile, disgusting, rock-dwelling hipster, I have a tendency to be, when something gets overly out of proportionally popular, and the fan base starts to get a little cringe, it instantly like kicks me away from it. I'm just like, ugh.
So you're not from the land of ooh, you're from the land of ew.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm a nasty little goblin hipster from the land of ew, where moment something like blows up in popularity and people are like, "Whoa, yes, this show is the best thing ever conceived. I'm creaming." I'm like, ew.
First of all,
but I should say this is not a show for kids. This is like an Adult Swim kind of thing.
Yeah, this is
very like, think of South Park, American Dad. This is the shows that the creator Vivzy said that they grew up enjoying and watching, and they wanted to make a show like this. But it is very funny. It's also a musical as well. So like, one of my favorite scenes in the entire show. There's only been 6 episodes out right now. They released with 4. Then every Thursday they're releasing 2. Next week will be the last 2 for season 1, and they've been working on season 2 already.
And you can imagine that we're going to be talking about this again soon.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, and I can see why people have gotten like blindsided. They shouldn't be, because I'm pretty sure it probably states on there that it is not for children. But if you just like glance at it, for like when you're scrolling going through prime, and you just from a glance, her art style is very cutesy, I guess is the best way to put it. Very cartoony and very stylized. She has a very interesting style, which I can see like a blindsided parent being all like, oh, okay, that's a cute little style and everything, especially if they're like an out of touch, like mid to older millennial parent and older.
Yeah, but one of my favorite scenes is like there's a person that showed up to help her kind of like keep the hotel running who's called Alistair, the radio demon, random sinner that showed up. He's like OP as hell, but he brings a couple people in to help with like running the front desk and them cleaning, while Charlie, her partner Vaggie, work on their first initiate into the hotel, Angel Dust, who is the biggest adult film star in hell.
So it's basically like trying to turn, I don't know any porn star actresses. I'm gonna make up one. Chiquita a lot. It's like trying to turn her into a nun.
Yeah, essentially. But even over the course of these episodes, because they had the pilot, which built the world and Hell of a Boss going, built Hell even more, they've been kind of focusing on the characters themselves, and you can actually see, people do say it's kind of fast-paced, but if you do watch the pilot, you can understand, like, this is where the people are, this is what they were, this is what they're like, and then go off of there.
I also do like how fluent the musical songs are in the show. They don't feel forced, and they actually all are bops, every single one of them.
Oh yeah, and I keep forgetting to say this. So my favorite scene is with Alistair the radio demon, like I said before, and Lucifer finally shows up, and they are literally getting jealous over each other from Charlie's affection, and they're trying to one-up each other in a song that has an electro swing backbeat, and it's genius.
That sounds awesome. And the one thing I know about the series, aside from the fact that everybody's been loving it, the animation, the music, everything, but I think Brandon Rogers is the voice actor for Blitz for Hell of a Boss, and I just really, really want to see him on this Amazon show.
He actually voices one of the newscasters.
I thought. Wait, what's his name?
There's two newscasters, but I know who you're talking about. Yes,
I do love how he like wholeheartedly like loves this role. I mean, I'm not surprised. It's literally, that's like, this show is Brandon, like pretty much how Brandon Rogers likes to portray himself in his videos and comedy skits. So I'm not surprised he's like diving head first into this.
Yeah.
Like,
He said he loves doing it, but
like I said, I don't blame him. That's these shows are like, it's the portrayal of like how he likes to make his own comedy skits and everything. It is perfect. It's like, two peas in a pod.
Yeah, I did want to say some of the cast before we get too far off in Hell of a Boss again. It is hard because there's been what, 2 going on 3 seasons for Hell of a Boss so far, so there's a lot more content to go off from there,
which will be immediately outdated once like a year passes, and they'll be much more
and they're both caught up to the same thing.
So one thing I want to say just real quick is that, like, I remember an interview between Brandon Rogers and Anthony Padilla, and he went on record to say that one of the reasons why he loved that role so much was because it literally felt like he was just being himself, like you said, Gemini, and it was just a very personable role for him, where he was able to just really express himself in the best way. And I love all of his performances that I've at least seen.
Back to Hazbin, yeah. For the cast, we got Erica Henningsen for Charlie, Stephanie Beatriz for Vaggie, Alex Brightman for Serpentious, which is the second person they have joining there. He showed up in the pilot, and he was actually supposed to be a one-off character. Pentious, he's a snake character.
Oh, okay.
But his name is Alex Brightman for the VA.
Okay, his character name sounds like he was straight from like he's
a steampunk inventor. He died.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he's when sinners die, it depends based on their time period and how they died of what they become.
Oh, that's actually
so
cool.
he's a snake inventor with little egg minion.
I'd love to see like somebody from the 1800s and somebody from
tragic they didn't bring Stamper back.
But they got Keith David for Husk, who's he works the front desk.
David on this?
Yeah, he works the front desk, and he's also the bartender.
From Mass Effect. They got David Anderson from Mass Effect.
No, what are you talking about? Keith David from Saints Row 4.
Keith
Spawn?
David.
Excuse me?
Keith David is the one
true.
who,
and also Spawn.
Keith David is the one who voices.
And the president from Rick and Morty, I think.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of shit.
Dude, he is loving this role. He has watch parties every week on Thursdays through Twitter to watch the episode with people. He is loving this role. And the song between him and my favorite character, Angel Dust, oh my god, it's so good.
That Welcome to Hell meme with Keith David makes a lot is very true to the show.
Oh yeah.
Wait, didn't Keith David also voice that one character from Princess and the Frog?
Yeah.
He's literally this guy's everywhere.
And he's the Mr. President in Rick and Morty.
Yeah. But he is literally Chris Pratt, but everybody actually likes him.
We have Kimiko Glenn, who voices Nifty, the psychopathic maid.
What the
Oh, she fights a war on bugs.
Wait, huh?
Yeah.
On bugs.
Yes, she's the maid.
Like the bugs from Bug's Life?
No, just bugs around the hotel.
Oh.
We got Blake Roman as Angel Dust, who has beautiful voice, but I do miss the original VA. Amir Talley as Alistair, the radio demon.
I was just gonna say it's probably gonna be pretty disappointing for some like really diehard fans for the differences in VOs that had to be changed over.
VAs.
For me, the biggest difference was Husk. Like I like Keith David, but I was expecting the original voice actor's voice when it switched over to the series on Amazon. So when it switched to Keith David, it caught me off guard. But I mean, I still like Keith David voicing Husk. It was just different.
And some of the other villains we have in this, besides, like, we got some of the other overlords of hell. Vox, who's voiced by Christian Borle, and Valentino, who is voiced by Joel Perez. And that's actually all they have for the cast. There are a few other overlords that show up as neutral characters, and there is another V. Oh god, Velvet is her name. I do not know her voice actor though. But it has honestly been doing well. For the critic score, it's got an 85 on Rotten Tomatoes, and for the audience score, it's got an 88.
I'm sure that'll just increase as we get to the season finale.
I feel like you're still gonna have that like 20% because I've already seen in reviews that all the Christian families are going crazy.
Oh, well,
over this.
This is literally hell. Like,
yeah,
they're a bunch of prudes.
I gotta say, the way that they portray hell in this is actually like really good, because people will say like, oh, the hell's supposed to be a bad place, hell's supposed to be this. I think it's actually a very interesting take that hell is essentially a sinner's paradise, but they're locked to the Pride Ring because every year, due to so many people going to hell on from Earth, I should say, that there's an extermination by angels every year.
I mean, I'd love to go to hell without being exterminated.
Exactly. Like, and one of the whole reasons that a lot of people are theorizing why sinners can't leave the Pride Ring is because since they still have their soul down in hell, they can make deals to become more powerful with other demons.
Wait a minute. If there's an overpopulation issue in hell, is there a population issue in heaven, or do they just have unlimited population size?
Nobody knows. Nobody's seen it, really.
Oh, I hope they depict God. That'd be great.
They haven't mentioned God, but they do depict angels, at least in the beginning scene, as like those rings with wings and eyes and shit.
They went biblical, the original biblical design of angels. Like you have the angels with like 6 wings and multiple eyes.
I think it was multiple heads in the actual original depiction. Like I think it was like a lion head, a human head, and like
there were some. There's a bunch of different ones, but
they're
something
terrifying.
I did find interesting.
All of them are horrifying. Don't look into them.
Yeah, but like I was saying, is like people are saying that this show doesn't depict hell and is blasphemous because it's about hell. The premise of the show is trying to find a way to redeem sinners to heaven. How is that bad? Like, yeah, they say and they say this and they show sexual content and drugs and shit, but that's because it's an adult show. It's not meant for kids.
Yeah.
But the premise of the show is still about redeeming people to heaven, and it's about like the actual daily sins that people deal with.
I think it comes down to the cutesy art style. People look at the visual representation of the show and they immediately think of kids' cartoon.
And I will say, for some people, this show covers some hard topics. Like,
I could imagine you're literally dealing with the afterlife.
Well, yes, and because of that, some of the characters have sold their souls, so you got to deal with that type of shit too. Blaze, since you're the only other one that has seen this show that is here, what characters do you want to see more of and like have them like build up on more?
I definitely want to see more about Husker. I want to see more about his character and how that's going to continue, because he is one of the ones that you've talked about with that, like, if it had sold their soul to someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I also just want to see more about Alistair and more of his backstory and stuff about him, because there's a lot of stuff about
episode.
He is
I know what you're talking about.
Mystery.
He's a man of mystery, and there was a big reveal in one of the latest episodes, and
see, and I'm just a radio man that can really appreciate another radio man.
Too bad Alistair's cooler.
Shut up.
Alistair's
I'm
way cooler.
real.
I'd rather work for him.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Thanks, man. You'd rather work for a literal demon than me.
Hey, they're not misused, and they don't seem malnourished. So Nifty's small, but I think that's just because that's Nifty.
I wonder if they have a 401k.
I mean, yeah, you got me on that one. I can't, like, if you talk to me about benefits, I'm like, I gotta talk to HR about that one, buddy. I don't know.
But yeah, I highly recommend it for, I'd say, younger adults and adults. It's more of that type of show. Parental discretion advised. But I actually haven't heard of this. Is this a game coming out, Blaze? Tell us more about this game that you were.
Yeah. Can you say the name?
I don't even know what another code Recollection?
Yeah, so this is a game that just released on the Switch a couple days ago. It's actually a remake of a series of games that came out on the DS and the Wii. The first game was Trace Memory. That's what it was called in Japan and Europe, but in America it was called Another Code 2 Memories. And it was a game on the DS that was like a mystery story, and its sequel on the Wii was called Another Code R Journey into Lost Memories, but this game completely remakes both of the games onto the Switch and puts both of the titles into one game together. The premise of the game is you're following a young girl by the name of Ashley, who has been given a letter and this mysterious device by her father, who she thought was dead and suddenly wants to meet up with her on this island off the coast. And when she gets there with her aunt goes missing, and she has to try and find her, figure out where her dad is on this island, and also figure out the mystery of what happened to this ghost child by the name of D and how he died. The game has a very similar feel, like a very similar personality and charm to Life is Strange, if any of you guys have played those games.
But I have heard of it. I've seen gameplay, so I get kind of where you're going with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has a very nice personality and charm of Life is Strange, and everyone really likes Ashley's character and her personality that she brings into this game and the story. And it has really fun puzzles and exploration that'd be very similar to the game isn't a horror genre, but best I can example would be the Resident Evil games with the exploration and the puzzle solving. So it's a really good blend of like the story and characteristics of Life is Strange with the fun puzzles that were in a lot of the Resident Evil games.
I mean, we return to yet again another example of I guess with the gaming industry it's a little bit different to have these kind of I don't want to say rebounds, but like these moments where games have a new collection with new graphics. With gaming, it's seen in a lot better of a light than it is in like TV and media. And I at least hope that this has all the content that all of the games provided in their full state. Because I feel like most times when they do these new collections of games, they make sure to include everything. But with the old style Wii and DS games, at least from my experience with them, they were always limited in file size. It was a time before DLC.
Yeah. Funny enough, the sequel that was on the Wii actually never made it to America. It was only ever a Japanese title.
Oh, really?
So this remake is our way of getting the sequel for the first time as well.
God, the Mother 3 fans are so pissed off right now.
Oh yeah. Because this game, it was a very hidden gem game. It wasn't really that big of a title, but it had a good enough fandom for them to make a remake of the game. And it's like a full-on rebuilt from the ground up remake, because it's a DS game that got brought onto the Switch and completely rebuilt from the ground up. The story is still pretty spot spot on from what I've seen, and but all the puzzles and everything in the game have changed to make it fit better on the Switch, from going from a DS to the Switch.
Well, yeah, because when it came to the DS and the Wii, the one thing that they loved doing was either motion controls or touchpad integration.
Mhm.
Great.
So now with the Switch, you got the motion controls with the Switch, like moving stuff around with the Joy-Cons and whatnot. But
honestly, and I know this is a side tangent, but I actually like the ergonomics and the motion controls of the Joy-Cons than from the Wiimotes. I think it's a lot more accurate, probably because you're not pointing at a friggin' bar in the middle of your living room.
yeah, IGN rates the game at about a 7. It's a really fun, chill game if you just want to sit down and enjoy the story and some fun puzzles. It's nothing too action heavy or adventurous. It's just a fun mystery puzzle story.
Hopefully it incentivizes other old style DS and Wii games to get remakes on the Switch, because I know the library of, like, specifically with the 3DS and Wii, like, everybody made games for those consoles, like literally from licensed games to
Bruh, remake Spectrobes.
no, they need to remake The Sweet Life on Deck.
Off. No, give us Spectrobes. That game was fire.
No, that's fair. That one honestly doesn't sound familiar to me, but it sounds cool from the name.
It was coming out around the same time as Pokemon Diamond and Pearl for the DS. It was Disney's version of Pokemon.
What was the game called again?
Spectrobes. It was a sci-fi space Pokemon ripoff game where you gonna sound kind of like Power Worlds here in a sec, but you go to other worlds, find fossils of these Spectrobe monsters and revitalize them back to life to help fight against creatures of darkness.
Oh shit, yo, this looks dope. How did I never know about this?
It was so much fun. There was 2 titles that came out on the DS, and then there was a 3rd title that came out on the Wii. I thought those games were fun as hell.
Shit.
I really want them to bring that back one day. I don't think they ever will, but that would be so awesome.
Yeah, this gameplay looks so crazy. Oh, the graphics look great. Imagine the graphics ported on to new hardware. Oh my god.
Right?
Also, I'd like to say we'll be talking about Power World next week.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But it's okay. You know, we probably have a full episode here anyways.
Right. But anyway, yeah, Another Code Recollection is a lot of fun. I played the demo for it. I just ordered the game right before we started recording this because I tried going to all my local stores nearby to get the game and they were sold out everywhere.
Yep, scalpers for ya.
I should be getting that in a couple days and I'm going to enjoy the hell out of the game. But if you get a chance to, I'd highly recommend checking the game out if you're able to pick it up. And yeah, going from there.
One thing I do want to say real quick is if they do ever bring back Spectrobes, we all need to play it together. If they do implement multiplayer, which I feel
if they do, because it was single player for the 2DS titles. I think the Wii had a co-op feature.
Ooh, because yeah. Oh, anyway, sorry.
But yeah, going on to more games that are coming out this year, or at least expecting to. Gemini, want to talk about what's going on with Assassin's Creed this year?
So I guess an article has been released where they kind of give like a brief rundown of what Ubisoft has in mind for the Assassin's Creed franchise for 2024, because as we know, it's not in its heyday like it used to be.
Hey, I will defend Assassin's Creed somewhat because yes, Unity was garbage, but they did come out with 2 separate games last year. So like
2 separate games where all they did was add microtransaction to it to skip the game faster.
Okay, yeah, that's a fair point.
That's a Ubisoft.
Sorry,
when you fill your entire games with time savers and resources for microtransactions, it's not a game anymore.
No, that's fair. I take that back. I take it back.
Are we talking about Mirage?
I'm talking about Mirage up to Valhalla.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't get too far into Valhalla. I really tried. I tried
until
so hard.
They literally waited 3 months for the game to be out and then added time savers in afterwards. Like, you know what you're doing. I know your company's in the middle of a dumpster fire right now, but call me
savers.
Like being able to find all the secrets on the map, being able to like get the materials for going out and raiding people.
If
It's
they
like time savers and resources pack, like where you can find everything on the maps and you don't gotta actually go and store it, shit like that. Yeah.
I mean, it is optional technicality, so like, you know, no one has to buy it. And to be fair, if you have bought them, you're a clown, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That is really dumb. At least it is an optional thing, but it is. But you know, Assassin's Creed isn't what it used to be, and it pains me to say that because I enjoyed the older games. I know I'm in the minority when I say this, but 3 was one of the best ones they came out with.
Even more minor majority. Black Flag was good.
Oh, I hear everybody say Black Flag was the best one, and I honestly think it wasn't.
From the community standpoint and the actual numbers, Black Flag was the worst Assassin's Creed they've made.
That's so interesting you say that, because I hear 2 is technically the best with Ezio.
Yes.
And then
it
not counting, is. And then after that is 4. And everyone I've ever spoken to said Black Flag was one of the better later Assassin's Creed installments. And they say, like, you know, 1, for the nostalgia purpose, it's good, but it was a little jank. And everyone hates on 3. And I honestly think 3 was one of the better ones. I loved 3. 4 was boring.
I played
3 was
3
the
and
Revolutionary
Black
War,
Flag.
correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love being Connor. That shit was great.
Yeah, like
great.
3
And you
was one of
actually-
the better ones.
And you actually got to like learn more about the Templars, and like his dad was a Templar. Like what?
Yeah, honestly. And then like, they're like, nah. And then 4 comes out and you're a pirate, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, we get to be a pirate. I'm like, I'm just sailing around forever, and I'm bored.
What you okay? So that's everybody's main complaint is that it was a pirate game, not an Assassin's Creed game, and that's the thing. Pirates aren't ever just pirates.
Just fair, but I think that definitely was the beginning to where they moved away from the whole assassins aspect and dipped their toes into other portions.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Templar should have never been a thing. I'll say that right now.
But
when you played as Connor's dad, I'm good.
that was a bit weird, but so yeah, you know, because a lot of fans have been a little like me about it since the release of Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, which honestly, Odyssey was really fun. I had a lot of fun with Odyssey.
Odyssey was fun for the Greek mythology, but people didn't like that because it wasn't historically accurate.
Okay, and neither was being a Viking hacking people's heads off with the, like, you know, it was historically accurate. Yes, that portion. But, like, if they're whining about it, like, tying in with the Assassin's Creed portion of lore and history, no.
See, I feel like we need an Assassin's Creed game that actually is an assassin game. And I know that we had one of them that was kind of going back to that style, but, like...
I was gonna say, was Mirage? I didn't play Mirage.
Mirage was the founding of the Assassins. That's why everybody
I thought
liked
that's
it.
I thought that's what Origins was.
Which one was set in Egypt? I can't remember.
Origins.
They have
Then
too
Origins.
many right now. There's too many Assassin's Creed
I
games.
literally thought that's what Origins' whole point was.
Origins is. I was wrong. Origins is the beginning of it.
I was gonna
Which
say,
one
yeah, because
were you saying?
Mirage. That one's set in Baghdad, I think.
I'm
I
not
didn't play it.
sure. I haven't played it either.
I mean, this article
Oh, that
says
is.
that
These
it was
tie
like a
into the
throwback?
These tie into the people of Valhalla, Basim, and I can't remember the other one, but they tie into people that were looking for more assassins in Valhalla, and they came across.
I do remember that. There was like a dude who was just like, hello, Viking. Do you wish to be an assassin? And you're just like, what?
Well, they had originally talked to you. You pick a guy or a girl character, and depending, it's either your sister or your brother. They meet them, and then he brings them back to his village, essentially. But then he goes and off and makes you chief.
Yeah, I do remember that. But anyway, so a lot of people are theorizing that the next flagship title in line of release, Assassin's Creed Red, which is still just its code name. That's not the full launch title. That's just like its code name. A lot of people are theorizing that it will be launched in 2024.
From what I heard before, Red is supposed to be like a smaller game, and then next year they are doing the next in-canon Assassin's Creed story title.
I think those are, they mentioned 3 titles: Hex, Infinity, and Invictus.
Yes. Hex, I think, was the code name for Red, actually, if I remember correctly.
From how it seems like about Assassin's Creed Hex, that one, honestly, if the theories are correct, seems intriguing because it seems like it will probably take place in 1600s, like East Coast, like New England during the time of the witch hunts. Oh, that'd be an interesting Assassin's Creed game.
I could see them doing that.
Because they would probably work it to where like the ones who are doing the witch hunts would be the Templars, which honestly I could kind of see it in a way. Like I could see a very nice way that they could tie that in with the Assassin's Creed universe.
I hope that they, because like we kind of hinted to
make like a female branch of assassins who are getting hunted by the Templars and being like they're witches, and the local populace is like, oh
yeah.
The way you just got cut off was hilarious.
The way your mic cut off.
Oh, okay. I take that back. It's 1400s to 1700s Germany, taking place in the Holy Roman Empire, which did also see a very high. That's probably where a lot of like when it washed over to America, like because I think a lot of those people did emigrate from that portion of the world when like they were finding the new world. So it makes sense. But either way, it's still an interesting concept.
I just hope that like we hinted at earlier, I hope that they find another person who is more integral to the timeline that we can feel more for out of the Animus, because even the ones in Valhalla and Odyssey, these new crew that we've kind of been running with, it's like I care more about the people inside the Animus at this point. Like
I thought it was interesting also when with the original 3 games, I think, because 4 is when because they were looking into, what was his name again? Sean? Who was the original? Desmond, that's who it was. The original dude. I thought that was an interesting concept where you played as their descendants and everything. I wish they would go back to that. I highly doubt they will, but I thought that I do hope that they go back to that aspect of
like even
playing as your descendants.
Even Black Flag was cool because you were technically still like and 3 in Templar, I guess, if you want to count it. From a storyline, they were cool because you were still technically going through Desmond's memories. They took his corpse, and like the games air quotations that Abstergo was making were based off of his memories.
Yeah, I think that's what 4 was. 3, I think you still played as Desmond in the modern time bits, I think, because I think 3 was when, spoiler alert, Desmond does die, and then 4 is when
Brotherhood. Or
I thought he died in 3. The end of 3, like there's an explosion and he's like, and dies in the cave explosion or something.
He dies. It's been forever.
I say, to be fair, the last time I played Assassin's Creed 3, I was in like high school, so over 10 years ago.
He when he gets possessed by the other people, right?
Honestly, like I said, I don't remember. I just remember being in a cave system, like that's where everyone was camping out, and there was an explosion and he died at the end, and I could have sworn that was 3, but I didn't play the offshoots of 2, like because they're like, well, they're not offshoots of 2, but they're like part of the Ezio collection, I think. Is that Brotherhood and Revelation?
Brotherhood, there was Assassin's Creed 2, and then Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which is technically the 3rd game.
Technically.
And then after Black Flag and 3, and you kind of went through Connor's story, there was Assassin's Creed Revelations, which is Ezio during the end of his life.
I was gonna say, I don't remember, because I didn't play those like not technically offshoots, but they're not like the numbered series either.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to play this. I'd love to go back and play, because I didn't actually finish 2.
Something I do want to add to this kind of that Ubisoft is almost, well, because of everything, Ubisoft is almost going full Game Pass at this point. They have made a subscription software or a subscription service.
It's like UbiPass or something.
Ubisoft Plus is what it's called.
Something like that.
Why is everyone adding plus to everything?
Yeah.
Plus. At least EA is slightly original. It's EA Play. At least it's the only original thought they've had in the past like 20 years.
You get Ubisoft Plus Premium, get new releases and 100 plus PC games, get access to expansion season passes and more, get multi rewards, and cancel at any time
for the low rate of your soul and the firstborn, and the soul of your firstborn.
Yep, and the blood of your enemy.
To get 50 plus iconic games, you can pay.
Yeah, no, but the blood of the spouse goes for the DLC. That's what the DLC's price is.
Premium is $18 a month.
USD. I don't know.
That's gonna be like $24 Canadian, probably.
Let's say like $24 Canadian, euro. euros.
Hold on,
You
so
know,
it's $18 or $18.99.
unlike Xbox, where it's like at the discretion of the publisher if they want to put it on Game Pass or anything, you get new releases day one in early access.
I do kind of understand that, but that does lean into then. I do remember seeing Ubisoft made a statement where they were basically like, haha, kiss owning games goodbye. You're never gonna own a game ever again because you consumers.
Yeah.
This is a consumerist society, and we're saying you to the things you own because you actually won't own it.
You also get
Oh my
more
God, don't you get
discounts
me
and
started
10% off digital currency packs.
I hate it. I hate.
So
the
they're giving you
current state of
giving
gaming.
you deals for the time savers now. Ah!
Yes, let's go. That's what we needed.
They're giving you a cheeseburger, but at the same time they got a sneaky hand reaching in your back pocket and taking away your heart medication.
What? Jesus Christ.
They're like your cholesterol medication. They're like, here's this food, but we're gonna take away something that will
They
like save your
themselves are
life.
dying.
Also,
Yeah, well, that's
speaking
probably
of-
why they're doing it like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Oh,
taking
I don't-
heart medication, is there any chance that we're gonna see an actual revitalization of Assassin's Creed where they actually make good games and not...
So-
Well, that's what people are hoping with these new games that are coming out.
Everybody's been waiting because what is it? Odyssey, Valhalla. I think they haven't been part of the mainline story. Essentially, the secondary team isn't part of like the mainline story. So from what I heard is there's supposed to be Red, and then there's supposed to be a game after it, which is going to actually start continuing the actual like stuff of the precursors and stuff like that.
Which that'd be nice to get back on track to that. With one of the games that I guess they have because they have a lot of fingers and a lot of pies. They have a lot of irons in the forge and everything. Which probably is why it seems like Ubisoft can pump out a game every year because they're literally working on like 15 games at once. Or at least like the Assassin's Creed department. It does say that I guess Assassin's Creed Infinity, one of their upcoming titles, is intended to be a live service platform. I have no idea what that means.
Oh no, that's what that tells me is that they're gonna have microtransactions of all
It
the
means that they're
previous
gonna try to
Assassin
do-
skins.
They're gonna try to do like a looter shooter or not a looter shooter,
Ew.
but not a looter shooter,
An
but they're gonna be
extraction
doing like
assassin game.
something
my
like that.
God.
Something to that effect. Where
Pay
it's gonna be a
us all the
multiplayer.
money.
It's gonna be a multiplayer live service.
It does look like they're trying to dip their toes in the mobile gaming market too with Assassin's Creed Jade.
Well, okay,
Did-
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Didn't
I
they
was gonna
screw up
talk about
heavily-
this.
Didn't they screw up heavily doing that kind of stuff with Assassin's Creed Unity?
Okay,
Probably.
Unity wasn't mobile.
No, I'm
I
talking
was
about
going-
but the multiplayer live service.
The idea of Unity was good. The execution was terrible.
That's,
Might have
but
been a
that's
little
just
too like
Ubisoft.
soon for its time.
that sounds like a lot of things these days.
Because
Great
the
idea
fact
for
of going in,
execution.
the fact of 4 assassins going into a mission and
so
like
cool.
having different types of loadouts and things to deal with situations, that's cool.
What?
That is
But
that is
when-
a really cool like
But when you have
Sorry, you guys gotta restart. Somebody just f***ing walked in my room without knocking.
Papa, get out of my room and play
That's what you can actually hear it in my voice. You can literally hear.
I'm playing. I'm recording with my friends. Dad. Get out.
I'm sorry. I just didn't.
And
it's
this
the
is
knee-jerk
staying
reaction.
in.
No, it is not. I'm editing
Yes,
this out.
it is.
I have the authority.
No, you,
No.
Robbie. It's staying in.
This stays in.
God damn it. Anyways, the
At
one
least
thing I
in the
wanted to
YouTube
say.
version.
Okay, fine. The one thing I want to say is that, at least from my experience in Assassin's Creed, a lot of the games I played were on the mobile platform, so I wouldn't be surprised with them dipping back into that
Wait,
well.
what? What if you played on mobile?
They made full-fledged Assassin's Creed games on mobile, swear to God.
Oh yeah, but then like okay, that speed ran the story. My whole thing that I've loved about Assassin's Creed having the big open world and the dopamine you get when you complete a little section of the map and it goes boop and becomes all visible.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Just climbing to a high spot and being all like,
And then you get your map and then you get to see all the secrets in there. It's like yes.
Yeah, but sorry to change the subject to mobile gaming. I'm really excited for a multiplayer Assassin's Creed game because, like you said, Unity could have been so good. It could have been so amazing.
But it's also at the time that people were just coming off of Brotherhood. Oh, the only other multiplayer we really had was Brotherhood, and that one was so fun, just walking around and like taking each other out.
See,
I feel like if they want to do multiplayer, they need to have 2 separate modes. One like Unity, but executed better, where you can go in, steal from other people, get out, try to do the actual assassin shit, or go in, knifing everybody.
See, I know nobody's gonna like my idea, but I kind of want an Assassin's Creed Battle Royale game.
I feel like what you originally said, having an extraction shooter would wait, or or extraction assassin game would be way cooler. Trying to steal as much money and then get out while there are other teams trying to steal money as well in there.
Or try to kill somebody and escape without being seen.
Yeah.
Unity, I expect the check in the mail.
That could be an interesting concept where like there is a large group of players and like half of the player base is maybe not like super large, but a decent size, where like half of the player base is the
guards.
Yeah, like a guard or even like targets or something, or the targets could be
Templars.
NPCs. Yeah, like the Templars, and then like the other half could be the assassins. And it could, in technicality, this could it could still merge with your battle royale theme in a sense of like which team then has the most standing at the end, and who has like the most points. Like, you know, the Templar side could be like whoever like ousted or defeated it. How like at this like did they defeat and oust more assassins than the assassins were able to pull off their missions?
See, and all I could think about is instead of dropping in from an airplane, they'd all drop in from equally high points of land.
You just all eagle jump or leap of faith into the map at the same time at the beginning.
Yep.
Said like maybe not a massive like to the point of like Fortnite or other battle royales.
I could see like a 6v6
players. Yeah, like it's like a 12 player base. If you want to keep it a little smaller, maybe 4 like or 8. So like 4 on one team, 4 on the other. That could be an interesting concept to combine a form of an extraction base game and a semblance of a like battle royale, but it's not fully battle royale because you're not like all like your goal isn't like instantly line to the others and kill them. It's just like, you know,
I could see
do
what
the tasks.
I could see what Bobbert said, where like there's a specific amount of targets that the assassins need to take out, and the other team, whether it be like bodyguards, Templars, whatever, have to keep them alive and do other stuff.
And that's why I said probably if it's like assassin targets, it'd probably be best maybe to keep those as NPCs.
Yeah. I just want something to break up the monotony, because I feel like with all Assassin's Creed games, it's you go here, you kill men, you escape, you did good.
Well, that's why they're the story missions, Bobbert.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying.
That's why they're.
I think a lot of that became more monotonous when they turned it into an open world RPG, because that is tragically the downfall of a lot of open world RPGs is it's so big. It's true though. That is like a downfall of a lot of I'm sorry. It's an amazing game. I love it to bits, but that is kind of a tragedy that is even a thing with Elden Ring. It's such a massive world, but after a bit you're like, God damn, I have scraped. Honestly,
I'm tired.
And it's not even to that. It's, you know, because it's so big and they have to make all of this stuff, and they end up reusing a lot of assets, and that's another thing that can make it just feel so samey. Like I said, fair. Elden Ring falls into that downside. I mean, how many different copies of like the same boss do we see all the time?
That is one reason why I've liked like Odyssey, Valhalla, without the time savers and stuff like that, because like I like how they get into the mythology of stuff as well, like fighting the mythical beasts of Greek mythology, or fighting the giant serpent of Egyptian mythology, or, you know, like.
And also with the people saying that's not realistic and it's not like it's real or anything, it ties in with the lore or with the world building of Assassin's Creed, because with that, didn't they say it was what's the ancient race called in Assassin's Creed? Like it's not the Protheans.
The precursors is what I call them.
I think they have a legitimate name and I don't remember. Yeah. I'm gonna call them. No, okay. That's a faction. I'm gonna just say Protheans. It's not Protheans. That's from Mass Effect. That's the ancient race of Mass Effect. But you know, they're
kill
like
wizards.
They're from the past, though, my guy.
Past.
They're an ancient advanced race that died out, and a lot of the mythical beasts, mythical like idol gods and everything are actually creations from this ancient race. If I recall, in Odyssey, you go to Atlantis in one of the DLCs, and it's a real thing because it was a city that was created by this ancient race.
I have all the DLCs, but never got to play all.
Dip my toes in Atlantis because I really love the concept and the myth of Atlantis, and there is a very, very large part of me that does believe the myth that it existed at one point. Shut up. I also believe in Nessie. We know this.
Nessie's real. What do you mean?
Yeah, she's a giant piece
and Mothman.
As being Celtic, I can tell you she's.
But like, you know, that's a nice way to tie in myth with this world that's supposed to be like modern, like real, like modern day real world, but also explain why like the mythological creatures and the gods exist, because they are the ancient race. Whatever the they were called.
You're also in like a big VR set, essentially.
That too.
That's the one thing that I really liked about it was the Animus, was just that you were able to
Like,
go back into
what was it?
previous lives of assassins.
In Valhalla, there are these missions in the Animus world where you turn into the character outside of the Animus world and do for some reason.
Interesting. I didn't get too
What?
far in.
Yeah.
Your mic cut out. You do what?
Oh, you become the character outside of the Animus world and you do parkour for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would say it's some woman. I don't remember her name.
She's been the main character since Origins, if I remember.
Yeah, it's Talisha or something. I don't f***ing remember her
Yeah.
name.
Which I understand, like, this is the new team, Desmond's gone, but, like, I don't, besides Sean and, oh god, I can't even remember her name, I don't really have any connection to any.
Neither do I. That's the life of a loner.
She doesn't have, she was just random Abstergo agent, took an Animus, started to rebel.
Yeah, she like rebelled from
Cool.
Sturgo. I don't know. I as someone who has kind of faded out or faded away from the Assassin's Creed franchise, I still do really like it because I do enjoy the older games. I do enjoy some of the newer games. I like the franchise. I'm sad to see where it's going. So I'm really hoping whatever Ubisoft has planned for this year, that they do a really good job on it. And at the very least, if this one doesn't do too well, that their future like ideas and plans do pretty well, because it's a really good franchise. The games were pretty good in the past, and I just hope that they will get their heads out of their greedy money grubbing handing asses and do better.
See, I'm actually excited because if Red is like its own separate story, like how people are speculating it to be, I think that could be a good refresh for the franchise. We're not drugging through the thing. We have this separate character. They can focus on building up this person, focus on building up, like, if it's in the Animus or if it's just actually something that happened, kind of thing.
I think that is what they need. They need just to restart
And also spice things up.
And this is supposed to be set in feudal Japan, so everybody's gonna
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I'm so hyped for that. I'm sorry.
weeb.
Shut up.
This one is supposed to be in feudal Japan, and then I think Jade is a mobile game set in China.
Makes sense.
Mo Shin Ryu.
And they did have one that was set in China, but that was like their weird side-scroller platform game series that was kind of lame.
If I remember, that's actually the prequel to Red.
The one in China? I think they had three. There was one in China, one in India, and I don't remember the third one. They made like 3 side-scroller platformers.
I'm not sure for the other ones. I just know about Red, and I know that the other one is supposed to be set in China. I think that's supposed to be.
Who knows? We can only wish to see. We can only hope that it will be better.
Focus one story at a time. You gotta nail these shits.
That could be a reason why their games are a little lackluster, because they are like throwing too many irons into the forge, and then they might not pull them out in time, and they're a little mushy or like dingy and everything.
You gotta strike the iron while it's hot.
Yeah,
Just
not
throw
like
it back in.
Yeah, either not you have to strike it while it's hot, not either set it off to the side and then it gets too cold, or you leave it in there and it just turns into unusable mush. But that concludes me talking about Assassin's Creed. How would you like to wrap us up, Robbie, if you have any other final remarks?
But I did want to bring something up as in a dum-dum for console users. This may be a good thing coming. There was an update as of yesterday, January 27th, or it actually could have been a little bit earlier. I think it was maybe 25th. It came out for PlayStation that disabled Zim and Cronus on consoles.
Oh,
and there still hasn't been a fix yet. For those of you that don't know, Zim and Cronus are ways to either get aim assist while using a mouse, or you can set recoil patterns on these devices and essentially get no recoil. They are deemed as cheating they've been both deemed as cheating by Microsoft and Sony, so don't do it.
Oh, that's bad when Microsoft and Sony are agreeing on something.
Yeah.
So no, I hear that. That's definitely.
But there was an update that came out that completely disabled it on the PS5, and there hasn't been a fix since.
I mean, at least it's a step in the right direction,
Hell yeah. Now
Anyway.
pass that shit over to Microsoft so we get it too, please.
Right?
I was gonna say, if Microsoft says it's a problem, then goddamn, get on it, Microsoft.
Stephen Bills, the head of Microsoft.
Stevie Bills.
The one last thing I want to talk about is the fact that Despicable Me 4 has had a trailer, and I want to die. I want to die. The trailer dropped 2 hours ago, and I don't know how to feel about it, guys.
I'm shocked they're doing another movie for Despicable Me. They are riding that horse till it's dead.
Literally 5 movies,
it's
4 Despicable Me movies, and a Minions movie, and I think they're gonna make Minions too.
It's a franchise that kids like. It's a cross-generational thing at this point. point.
I hate it. The only thing I like about it is the fact that it gives Miranda Cosgrove and Steve Carell jobs. So I love me.
What was her last name again?
What?
Cosgrove?
Cosgrove.
Oh, whatever. Sorry, my
Cosgrove.
Canadian dialect.
It's Miranda Cosgrove, eh?
Yeah, shut up, man. Oh wait, you're not none of you.
Now that he said it, all I can think was Cosgrove.
Miranda Cosgrove and Steve Carell. There, that's more American.
You still said Cosgrove though.
Oh wait,
What part of it?
whatever. iCarly. There, you happy?
Never watched it.
iCarly and I can't remember his name from The Office.
Megan.
God. Michael from The Office. iCarly and Michael from The Office have jobs for this movie, and I'm happy. That's the only thing that makes me happy about this movie.
Yeah, she's not
that's-
Carly,
Please,
she's
Steve
Megan.
Steve Carell doesn't need minions to
You know,
get
actually,
work.
you know what? Since I might not come back, I want to do another headcanon theory. I think that Megan from Drake and Josh had to go into witness protection, and then she eventually became iCarly. That's it. That's all I have to say, everybody. It's been a lovely time watching us evolve into, or listen. We're not visual yet. It's great to listen to us devolve into the greatest hits of what we want to talk about for pop culture. For those of you watching on YouTube, make sure to like,
Listening.
comment, and
Listening.
Oh yeah, I didn't listen to what you said. That was funny. Anyways, if you happen to catch us up on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you happen to hear us on the CJSW Network, make sure to check out all the wonderful, amazing content they have offering on their website and system beyond. And I'd love to thank all my lovely friends for joining me today. Jesus Christ. I'd like to thank Gemini,
A pleasure as always.
Blaze.
This is why we keep you in the editor's room. It was fun though.
Shut up, man, and Menace.
I'll make sure to lock the door this time.
See, what you guys
It's
don't
always a good
realize
time,
is
Albert.
it doesn't matter whether you lock the door or not, because I have my doorbell. And that's it,
You're
everybody.
what?
Why would you oust yourself, you idiot?
You're the one that ousted me, actually,
Joke's on-
last
joke's on
episode.
him.
Just deny it and say it was just stupid.
Joke's on-
I
Joke's
can't
on-
deny because I
Joke's
want
on
to be
him.
honest.
He's already told us about it.
I don't
and I've
wanna
already
lie,
built something
okay?
against it.
I'm not a liar. But yeah, it is a pretty nice doorbell.
It's closed now.
All right, bye.
Get back to the editor's room. Editor.
That's where we cut it.
And that's the outro.
Yep.